Hi everyone, this is Killshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 10 debate. We're going to ask the question, is Negan the last resort? There's a lot that goes into that question. Before we get started, got a couple things that we got to do. A super special shout out to all the Patreons. Patreons, absolutely awesome. You can see them up there on the screen. Thank you so much for everything that you guys do. And also, I see Valar is in the house early. Thank you so much, Valar. Valar saying, hello 99 Army, Kills, Steph, Emmy, Kale, Sweet Tommy, sponsors, patrons, and of course, all the super chatters and all the people that are here each and every night. So thank you for everything that you guys do. We're going to jump into tonight's topic. Everybody having a good Monday, hopefully. It is a Monday, right? How bad can it be? There's a heat wave all over the place. Some people are at the beach, but it is going to start cooling down, I think, middle of the week. So, yeah, it looks like everybody. I saw some of the comments on YouTube. Looked like we had a really up-tempo Monday. Been rough? I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. How you doing, Grimes? Mondays stink. You know, hey, we got some mods in the house tonight. Look at this. We might have all four mods here. It's been a while. I mean, some are, you guys know. I mean, the mods have some things going on. You know, there's other events. Kel's got a trivia night. Steph's been traveling around the country. Emmy has had like birthday parties and graduations and everything. But the one thing is we get closer to the end of the summer and we get closer to fall and The Walking Dead, then it kind of brings us all back together. So we are certainly getting there. Got a little bit of news for everybody. I don't know if you guys saw the info earlier about the characters. So we have names for the third Walking Dead series. We don't know what it's going to be called yet. I know we've speculated, we predicted, but we do have names of the characters. We have an Iris, a Huck, a Hope, an Elton, and a Silas. So Iris, Huck, Hope, Elton, and Silas are 5 of the characters that are going to be on the show when we finally get a name. It's going to be airing next year. Kimberly M., just want to say I missed you guys. Glad to be back with the Army, mods, and the Army. So good stuff, man. I'm glad to see everybody. Oh, this is it. We got all 4. You guys do me a favor. Can I get mod emojis? All 4 mods are in the house right now. And it's starting to, yeah, there is a Huck, Andy. There's a Huck. All right, we are going to touch on that. So, you know, there's always an elephant in the room, right? We do live streams. So, you know, these are not rehearsed. We can't delete them. So let me just address this before people start getting wacky and go crazy. And I've said this over and over. I'm a Walking Dead fan, start to finish. I live and die with The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, the brand new show, the Rick Grimes TV show. I owe explanation because you guys saw the reaction video and the reaction video was taken down. There's a combination of things that were going down. One, a lot of people liked it. We started out giving ratings and reviews. I'm not going to dwell on that, but I do want to say it started out as one of those kind of mild streams. And there were a couple people that just kept trolling it over and over again and sort of pushing some buttons. In one of those cases, it just it drug on and on and on. And there was a lot of positive that said, and I always love hanging out with you guys, but for whatever reason, it was one of those streams where I kept zoning in on the negative comments. And when you're behind a microphone and you're going over content and you get distracted from that content, it's really easy to do. So it was a very negative stream. I am responsible for that negativity. Ultimately, I'm the one with the microphone, so I can steer it in a different direction. So I just thought it was best to take it down. It just was not indicative of our group and our show. And if other people were to watch that, they would have gotten the wrong connotation. We debate a lot of stuff. We talk about a lot of stuff. But anybody that would listen to that stream would have been like, whoa, I'm staying away from this place. This guy's a little too angry. So it was best to kind of move on. There it is. That's the story, full disclosure. So we move on, right? We got a brand new member of the green team. I see Darkstar999 becomes channel member number. You know what? I'm not going to tell you guys. The first person that can tell me how many channel members we have will get a free Kills coin for this week's Friday, Freestyle Friday. I'm going to give you a hint. We're getting close to unlocking that elusive emoji. Dark Star is number what? Close. Got a couple people that are close. Nobody's gotten it yet. So close. A couple people have been within one. Nobody's gotten it yet. Crystal, Newfield 12, 72. She's the first person to get it. Kel, can you add her to the ledger? It's like Crystal. Crystal's getting a coin every week. Be ready. Be ready, Crystal, because you know Freestyle Friday, you either got to have those topics prepared or you got to be ready to give that coin to somebody else. So that is channel member number 72. The significance of that is we are 3 short of unlocking an emoji. Now, I got some ideas. I was thinking maybe a funnel emoji or something. Maybe a super fan. Maybe we do 3 super fans. I don't know. We're going to do something. But once we unlock 3 more channel members, I'm going to mix up some of the emojis and kind of refresh them for this coming up season. Because we've been using the Rick Grimes and the Negan and all those things. So I think I'll just have a whole new set of emojis for this season. I know the old ones. It's hard to give up on the old ones. But, sometimes it's good to change things up a little bit. A tornado emoji. Some good ideas. I'm just wondering why we have 130, 40, 50, 200 people in here. And we can't get people to hit the like button. Come on, Army. Slap that like button. We got 2 dislikes already. Somebody was still holding a grudge from yesterday. Eric Beach. Kill. Show was terrible, but we're all fans. Just as normal. You lead, and we will debate 999 Army strong. Yeah, there's going to be good and bad. We're all entitled to our own opinion, as long as we don't take it personally. So let's get into tonight's debate. Let's get into whether or not Negan has full redemption, there's enough distrust that's out there, and ultimately, who is he going to have to kill in order to get complete validation? And I know some people said he's going to have to get the alpha kill. I don't think so. I think when Carol said, bitch gotta die, I think that's the ultimate setup, that Carol is going to be the one to kill Alpha, and she's going to get some redemption for Ezekiel. I feel like Ezekiel's gone this season. How many people feel like the king is gone? Oh. Hold on before we answer that. We got some magic happening tonight. So we just went to 72 to 73. RTD Slayer, brand new member, part of the green team. I think a good emoji would be like a welcome, right? Welcome to a new sub. Welcome to somebody that says, hey, I'm new to the channel. You know what? Let's do that. One of the next emojis we're going to unlock, or we're going to change an emoji, is going to be like a welcome emoji. And I got a feeling, I don't know, I just got a feeling we're going to get to 75 by Friday. So, we got some people here saying the king is gone. And I know many of you said that King Ezekiel might be the first really significant death this season. So, if Ezekiel's got the scene kissing Michonne, and I heard it on the stream earlier. It's like he shouldn't be doing it because of the girl code, right? You don't... no, it was not Ezekiel. Michonne should not be kissing Ezekiel because of the girl code, but why is there not some backlash about Ezekiel? So, he's the king, says Carol. Well, we talked about, there could be a girl code, there could be a zombie code. But how about the Rick code? Have you guys heard of the Rick code? Okay. CPH says maybe Carol goes after Alpha. Alpha almost kills her, then saved by Negan. Just a thought. Not a bad thought. Negan could be the hero all the way around. The Rick code is when it's found out that Rick's alive and Ezekiel's making a move on his woman, he's going to kick his ass. That's the Rick code. I don't care if Rick is dead. You leave her alone. Stay away from Michonne. That's the Rick code. But we have the luxury of knowing that Rick's alive. For all intents and purposes, everybody else thinks Rick's gone. They have a moment. I don't know. I don't think it's going to lead to anything. What do you guys think? You guys think the Michonne Ezekiel thing's going to get like hardcore, or you think it's just a momentary lapse of reason? Kel says they leave together. You know, this is why I disagree, Kel. Well, one, he ain't on that boat. He's not on the boat at the moment that we see it. So I don't know why Michonne is going to be out on a sailboat with RJ, and then I don't think she's going to turn the boat around and go back and pick somebody up. I think that's substantial. I think it's a goodbye kiss as well. But no lashback, I don't know. I think we should just get on the bike and go west. None of that. I mean, no problem with Daryl just wanting to pack up and move away with Carol. So why is there such a big deal to Michonne kissing Ezekiel when they're split up, but there's not the same level of scrutiny about Daryl throwing Carol on the back of his bike and just wanting to drive west and leaving everybody behind? No problem with that? Catface Killer says they are besties. Well, they're besties that are getting ready to bail on everybody else. I want to dig down on that a little bit because I'm painting a dire situation. You're not going to let it go tonight, are you, Chris? Because Daryl and Carol ain't going to leave. But they do get on the bike, William. And they are driving in a different direction. So, do you guys think it's innocent conversation for him to talk about just packing up? And, okay, I get it. But, see, William, that's a little bit the issue. William says it's just a fresh air joyride. There's no intent there. There really is no intent to pack up and leave the group behind. So, let me get this straight. Maggie called a world of hate because Maggie left the group and what they were going through. Daryl and Carol had been there for the entirety of it. I saw an element of seriousness in this conversation. I thought it was a little more than an innocent suggestion. Eric Beach says there's something wrong with Rosita's baby. Eugene's probably knitting some pants and he just wants to see how long his legs are. No, nothing wrong with... Unless he thinks that someone else is the father. I would like for it to be Eugene's baby. Oh, they're certainly going to come back. I'm not suggesting that they're going to leave. I know they're not going to leave. They're going to be central to the storyline. But I wouldn't be surprised if they go out on this journey and then they have this epiphany. It's like, you know what? We can't leave these people behind. It is no better. And I'm just wondering how much they're going to straddle that line of, we know that defectors do not get a pass. I can tell you that just with the lashback that Maggie got, and I know they're not going to do that to Daryl and Carol, but it does seem like they're showing that bond and how strong the bond is, and you know, they're going to make bracelets and seashells, and I got an idea. How about we eat and don't talk? You know, the scene. I still think the Daryl Connie thing is going to turn into something. And part of the reason why I'm hoping the Daryl and Connie thing turned into something is because I don't want, nor do I think we need a Daryl and Carol relationship. I'm cool with Daryl and Carol's friendship. And in fact, I have no ill will or animosity. However, it could be an innocent suggestion, but sometimes innocent suggestions, like, hey, let's run away, let's do this, let's do that, let's take a ride, sometimes they can be misconstrued. Will the Bill, super chat, and says, I think with it being the trailer, we missed the first part of the conversation when he said, sometimes I just want to leave, no more fighting. Then it jumps to them, ride together to get away for a moment. Certainly, Will, I don't dispute that at all, that could be what happens. Because we do know from the trailers that you get bits and pieces, and it's led to make you think something like, okay, Daryl and Carol are leaving. But, once again, it's just funny how we assume that, and we give them the natural benefit of the doubt, right? Maybe they earned it. Maybe, past actions have sort of made us believe that, okay, they're just free spirits and they just want to hang out. I understand that. But there is another side of that story. And William, if I can agree with that, is it not also possible that they've had enough. That the stress, the trauma, the war has gotten to them. Daryl's lived out in the woods for like 5 years. He may not be adapting too well to being back in Alexandria and protecting these people again. Carol just wanted to get away from Ezekiel. Henry is gone. Carol has no attachments to Alexandria at this point. So the one thing that Daryl and Carol have in common is they both seem to be free. But Will, the one thing that they also said in the trailer is, and I'm ad-libbing a little bit, right before that was said, he made the comment like, I don't feel like we're getting anywhere. We're just fighting one war to get to the next. That to me said, I don't want to fight another war. I don't want to be around for this anymore. I don't want to live like this. Let's just go west. Let's just go somewhere else. So I think the context is important. And that's why I'm almost wondering if something happens or they see something that really is their wake-up call. Does that make sense? We had a couple more comments in here. Well, Marvelous One, she is on a revenge hunt at some point, but not at the beginning. Something pushes her to that level. Grimes on the radio. Who here wants to see Gage on a pike? I think that's pretty unanimous. I just don't think... I don't think Gabe's going to get the pike. I think Gabe's going to get the... he's going to become a Whisperer Mask. See, somebody just hit it here. I like this. Tom B. In the trailer, we saw that maybe she's going crazy. All right. So let me throw this out there as a potential storyline. We start out with Carol being one of the ones suffering from PTSD. She's having flashbacks. She saw the image of Henry. I think that's at the beginning. And then we see the tears. And then we see Daryl hugging her. If Daryl is her best friend, we can agree on that, right? Daryl's her best friend. Daryl would do anything to protect Carol. Would you agree with that? So, if Carol is intimidated by the Whisperer situation and the way they're living, and Carol's at a verge of losing her sanity, would it not be at least feasible that Daryl would suggest that they leave to protect her sanity? And that's where I want to kind of not really debunk or disprove the joyride theory or, hey, they're just going out on a ride and they're coming back to fight. Yeah, maybe you go out and clear the air. But if Carol is genuinely losing it and Daryl sees the only path to save her sanity is to take her away, I certainly think he could do that. Well, Viola, keep in mind, she wants Alpha dead, but I don't think she has the motivation or the resources to go kill Alpha in the beginning. There's going to be some things that's going to push her to a different level. And I think right now, the trouble is, some of the group may want to fight. They just don't have the will, the desire, the adrenaline, the motivation. It's all kind of fear and what are they going to do to us next? And we can't keep living like this. We've survived. So I think something that match that's going to really fuel it up all over again is going to be somebody's going to get kidnapped, somebody's going to die, Alpha's going to do something to ramp this group up all over again. But before that happens, I think is the Carol and Daryl situation. Now, how far they go, how serious it is, I get it. Exactly. Julia, that's kind of the point of today's conversation. To me, it's likely, Walking Dead nerd says Rosita. I feel like Ezekiel is on the list, but something keeps bringing me back to Rosita, this baby, Sadiq, that whole situation. That Sadiq was tortured, that Sadiq was freed, that Sadiq still lives with it. And I got to say, Avi Nash, if anybody can pull off this PTSD and this trauma, it is him. His acting, I think he'll be phenomenal. And I don't think we're out of the woods with a Sadiq situation or a Sadiq traitor situation or a Sadiq trying to save his family situation. So I think that's something to keep an eye on. All right, so here's some of the things that we do know from the trailer. Lydia's awfully fired up. Lydia's out there training Morgan style. So let's get the ball rolling. Let's say Whispers aren't happy about trespassing. Not the scene with the standoff. Save that for last. I don't think that's going to be your big introduction. Like, we're always watching. You will be punished. I don't think that's your big... I think that's your mid-season finale. I think it ramps up to that. So if the Whispers are gradually getting revenge and teaching them a lesson, and you got Rosita who just had her baby, and you got this whole deal, you still got to have Negan come into play at some point. But Negan also said something pretty powerful to Lydia. He said, hey kid, watch your back. Why does Negan have an interest in anything to do with Lydia? I mean, I don't think he's threatening her and saying, hey, watch your back, I'm going to stab you in the back. We got a super chat. We got RTD Slayer says, I think Sadiq will get Gabriel's death in the comic. From the lookout tower? Possible. Lynn Nesbitt says, because Negan is Negan. Deborah Cox says, because she's a kid. Jason says, because she's an outsider like he is. Maria says, he likes kids. Negan's been in her shoes. All right, I think you're all on the right track here. I think there's an element to truth in everything that you guys are saying. But if there's one thing that Negan knows, I'm going to give away a kills coin. If you guys can tell me the Negan attribute that I'm looking for and why this conversation with Lydia is important. I got a couple super chats here. June Smith says, I see nothing wrong with Michonne getting her groove on and leaving Rick for me. June's like, yes, she's leaving on that midnight train to Georgia. I got Rick. Will the Bill, I think Negan knows the younger kids are the future and he's protecting all of them. All right, there could be multiple people. And those are all good answers. Lynn says he likes to instill fear. No, I'm going in a different direction here. Dead Shred. All right, let's give Dead Shred the kills coin, Kel, because Dead Shred was close. He was definitely on the right track. Negan knows how to lead people, and by knowing how to lead people, Negan knows the strengths and weaknesses of people. That is his play. Negan's able to look at Lydia and say, this girl is going to go charging in there. She's in over her head. He's an outsider, kind of like Jason said. He's an outsider, she's an outsider. And other people may not articulate it the way that he did. He's saying, look, and by doing that, he's currying a little bit of favor here. Lydia's going to be like, oh, wait a minute. This guy's taking notice of something that I'm doing. The other thing, Negan is painting a reality for everybody. Maybe everybody already knows that they're afraid. What Negan does from a psychological standpoint is he confronts the phobia. So he basically says, look, the boogeyman stuck his gnarly face out, and everybody's going to need to get their shitting pants now. So he's saying, you guys are all afraid. Let me tell you what's wrong with you. And when they hear it and they see it, I think that's where the group, it's not going to make them more paranoid. This is going to highlight what the paranoia is. Because what's the next natural question? Okay, well, what do we do about it? Right? I know you're afraid. You're afraid because this is happening. I know why you're afraid. You're afraid because this person disappeared. Yes, we are afraid. So now they confront the fear. When they confront the fear, then they come up with the action plan of what they do next. And I think Negan is learning to lead. Exactly, Wilson. Negan's not afraid. He's used to being alpha. He's used to being that person that quells the riot, that puts people down, that can't have it, that knows how to control people. Chris Robinson, good point. He knows exactly what it's like to be surrounded by people that don't want you there. And he knew not all the saviors wanted him in position. But when these baddies would rise up, the killing of Glenn, the killing of Abraham, wasn't just to control Rick. It was also to keep Simon and Dwight and Arat and a lot of those other big bad dudes that were there, to keep them in place. This is what happens if you're out of line. I don't like what happened to Glenn and Abraham. I understand what they tried to do with it. So Negan is the only person in this area that can stand toe-to-toe with Alpha. Now, Carol might get to that point. But Carol's ruthless. Well, hang on. Carol is vengeful. Carol's not ruthless. There's the difference. Daryl is vengeful. Daryl's not ruthless. Negan is alpha. But before we get to that, there's a few things that have to be checked off the list. There's some unfinished business. Daryl ain't real happy about eating dog food sandwiches and listening to Easy Street. Daryl holds a grudge. Does Negan fight back when confronted by Daryl? I don't think he does either. I don't think he rolls up his sleeves, and I think he takes it. In fact, even when Father G said, had the conversation, peanut butter and jelly, Negan said, I'd rather grow tomatoes and plant corpses. Something will happen to drive Negan to fighting Negan. And I do think it's going to be a combination of Lucille. I think it's going to be a combination of trust. E-Beach. Negan kicks Daryl's butt. I don't think he does, Eric. I think Daryl gets his revenge. I think Negan feels like he deserves it. I think it was Jason Daly said this the other day, that Negan does not need Lucille. Now, Jason, you might have said this before Michonne had Lucille in her hand, right? That's back when we were still predicting that Lucille would make her grand reintroduction. But I'm going to make it a little bit more complicated. I don't think there's one thing that can get Negan to make this his war. I think there's three things. Actually, Chris, maybe Laura dies, losing someone that he knows. That definitely, that wasn't on my list, but that definitely could. But I've got four things that I think are pretty definitive, and at least three of these four things have to happen. One, Daryl beats his ass. They're going to have to be able to fight side by side at some point. Daryl's going to have to blow off some steam. Because I think that will lead to a distorted partnership where the two of them need each other, not the two of them want to fight with each other, but they need each other. So there's one thing. Number two, something to do with Judith. I'm not saying that Judith is going to be taken, but some protective role of Judith. Negan has shown that a big part of who he is right now is taking care of Judith. That's two. Number three, Michonne is going to have to accept Negan's place in this world. She's already started warming up to him. They had a conversation. They've had multiple conversations, in fact. He's back in the jail cell, but she's given him some freedom. Those are three. And number four, after all those other criteria are in place, he's going to have a reason to fight. He's going to have forgiveness. He's going to have someone to fight beside. And number four, he's going to need Lucille back. That's going to be the match on the gasoline. That's what's going to be his vehicle in order to go out and start taking down Whispers. And there's no way that Michonne has this bat in her hand to destroy it, to use it, does anybody see the symbolism with Michonne with the bat and that particular stance and that particular angle? The lineup. And I think she's giving it back to him. But I'm going to make a bold prediction here. Write it down. This is my feeling. This is the way I think it's going to go down. You guys know when I make the super bold predictions, I do it putting my reputation on the line. I think that they're going to play this out as if Michonne is going to beat Negan down with Lucille. The way that angle is, Negan's down on his knees. He's either going to ask for it, he's going to say he deserves it, or she's going to give the idea or get the audience thinking, wait a minute, Michonne's about to beat him down. And then she's going to give him the bat. She's going to give him Lucille. Will, the Bill says she's kind of pointing down, though. Why is he on the ground? That's exactly what I was leading up to, Will. I think they're going to play it out as if it's a fake out. The audience is going to feel like you are it. And he's going to think, and that is the ultimate, final sign that Negan is forgiven and redeemed. The fact that she does not do anything, he is as safe as anybody else, that he is going to have to earn his way back. But all the old animosity between Daryl, Carol, Maggie, when Michonne does that and points down, is one of two things. He's either going to die, and he's going to be punished for everything he did, or we're going to stop talking about it. He has permission to go fight and to take out Alpha. And I think that's going to be the moment where we really kind of get the goosebumps and the cold chills, like Alpha's been doing all this crazy, evil, sinister stuff, and now Negan is the last resort. Picked by Michonne. You can't really have any more, a higher authority on the show right now than before she leaves. But it is so symbolic that she's not standing up pointing it. She's pointing it down like it's a lineup. And you're right, Emmy. That's where we get release the Negan that everybody's kind of been asking for. Or Timex says, or it could be completely made up just to get us pumped up, and it could mean nothing. They wouldn't do that to us, Rolex. Exactly. Dark Star, yeah, that's kind of the whole gist of it, right? I want you to feel how I felt when Negan has something to lose. Judith is, in a weird sort of way, his stepdaughter, his goddaughter, his somebody he cares about. So many people let me ask you guys this. What does Negan, prior to Judith, what does Negan have to live for? All these things he's done. Why not just die? Why not just go, jump off a cliff or let a walker eat you? Something. He had nothing to live for. So if you're going to give people motivation in a world that is not very fun to live in, he asked to die. Exactly. Wilson said Negan is the peanut butter. So dude had nothing to live for. Already begged for somebody to kill him, and here comes this little girl up to your window, and you're in jail every day, and you realize that you're starting over, she's starting over, because she's not going to get to see her dad. And he admires those qualities that she has, that Rick had, that Carl had. And he starts to see a reason. So now he's got a reason to live. But he still doesn't have a reason to fight. And look, wanting to be alive in jail just so you can talk to your buddy Judith every day, that's one thing. But going out there and having to lay it on the line and fight and risk your life, that takes a whole different level of motivation. And that's why I think all four of those things really have to happen to get him closer and closer and closer. Well, and Ellis brings up a point here that I don't like the plot because of Glenn and Abe. So, one thing that we will never accuse The Walking Dead of, as opposed to Fear lately. The Walking Dead is not afraid to kill people. They weren't afraid to kill Carl. They weren't afraid to kill Sasha, Glenn, Abraham, Simon. I mean, The Walking Dead, Tara, Henry. It really is the drive. It really is a lot of the allure. And Ellis, if they would have kept Glenn alive and killed Abraham. But, in hindsight, I guess, right? It's 2020. I think if they had to do it again, they would not have killed both of them in the same scene. You learn from it. I think they're like, you know what? We're going to do something big. We are going to blow the fans away. And they did. But I think if they had to do it again, they would have let Abraham die in all-out war. They had him around a little bit longer. But they wanted to be sneaky. They wanted to, keep it a mystery and a suspense, not let the spoilers get out. Have this big shocking moment. And it was. It accomplished it, but it just made a lot of things more difficult. So Lynn Nesbitt brings up the point, how will they top the Pike scene? I think there's going to be a second Pike scene. And I think they're going to show the punishment. Or the suffering. Or the abuse. I think if you get a Pike scene with the details that were left out, my thought on this all along, and this is not based on what I read, because I'm not that far into comics. It's based on just months and months of you guys telling me how dark and evil and twisted that Alpha was.
And because the visuals have not been there, I personally haven't felt it to that degree. I still feel like, from where I've read in the comics, I'm not up to Alpha. But to me, in the comics, the governor was worse than Negan. On the TV show, up to this point, Negan is worse than Alpha, and Negan is worse than the governor. Just visually, based on the things that he's done. Now, I know they went a long way to redeem him. So, if at this point in the comics that most people will say Alpha is the worst, they have some work to do to get her, I think, widely accepted as the worst villain. They can do it, but it's got to be something that just leaves a permanent image on people. And I feel like that's the challenge this year. Tammy Heitzman, perfect. We will witness Alpha's brutality, not just the after effects. Now, she's done some stuff, and we know she's done some stuff. I think we just hit 74. We got a brand new member in the house. What's up, David? We just hit number 74, and you know what? Maybe we'll hit that 75th member by Friday. If we do, we're going to have a brand new emoji that we're going to throw out there for the 999 Army. I might even, Kel, if we get one more member before Friday, I'll have you, if you don't mind, I'll have you put a survey on the Facebook fan page, and we'll give a few options and see if somebody wants to come up with another one. I like the funnel idea. I like something or something that shows a welcome to new members or new subs, something along those lines, because we get a lot of people that pop in for the stream the first time. But thanks so much. We are super, super close. David says, I've been watching some of your videos for a long while on YouTube. Hey, thank you so much, and thanks for being involved in the channel and helping the channel grow. Daryl, that's a good idea, Fear the Walking Dead emoji. I am going to reset some of the emojis over the next few weeks, and we'll rotate them out. Maria Favada. Is Negan his first name or his surname? I don't know, but I do know this. And this is because Walking Dead Nerd sent this to me from Comic-Con. In the comics, his name was supposed to be Negus, and they changed it to Negan. See, I did read some of my my info and my backstory. Yeah, it doesn't have the same impact, does it, Ocean Man? So David wants to know, Q&A, do you think Negan will kill Beta? I do. I think Negan will kill Beta, and I think Carol will get the alpha kill. Just a hunch. I don't think they're going to let Negan kill everybody. Dead on Leprechaun, super chatting. Thanks so much, Leprechaun. Appreciate that. Julia Mew says, nope, Beta doesn't die. You know, it goes back to my my Game of Thrones predictions, which, by the way, were pretty good for not being a long-time Game of Thrones watcher. But a lot of people had speculated that Arya would kill Cersei. And because Arya killed the Night King, I said there's no way that she's going to get all the kills. They can't let that happen. I'm just saying, Ocean Man. I'm just saying. I don't want to... An interesting story how Ocean Man got his name as well. But yeah, now if Daryl kills Beta, then all bets are off for Carol. So Carol killing Alpha is based on the premise that Negan kills Beta. If somebody else kills Beta, like Aaron, or I think Negan is going to save Aaron from Beta. And I'm pretty sure, isn't that what happened in the comics? I'm not that far. Or was it Jesus? Maybe it was Jesus. You guys help me out with it. Yeah, maybe it was Jesus. So if Negan saved Jesus, then maybe Negan will either save Aaron or Daryl. But I'm a little worried about Aaron being on the ground and that crowbar. Just so I know some people had said that Beta is not going to die. I think Beta's going to get a little bit more ruthless. ESO X says, hey, just a quick question. Where's the Fear mid-season finale fan reactions video? It is no longer a part of our channel, ESO. We decided based on just a whole lot of negative vibes around the video and got a little bit out of control. It was just best to take it down. You know what? We can always do another one. That particular one was just not indicative of our group. We had a few people jumping in a little bit late tonight. But if you guys came in late, get back, check out the playback. We started out tonight's video really just kind of going through a few things in the trailer, the Daryl Carol situation, Michonne, Ezekiel, just a bunch of things that are going to lead up to what potentially could make Negan the choice. Tammy Heights says, let's not forget that Gamma will be showing up, fiercely protective of Alpha. So, am I hearing that Walking Dead nerd, maybe you got a little bit more intel on this, am I hearing the rumor that Gamma is a female? Quick, agile, martial arts type of badass Gamma? So if that's the case, if we've got Big Beta, kind of the bruiser, and then Swift, ninja style Gamma, then, we're just getting to know the Whispers. See, that's scary. That makes me think that we've got 16 episodes of the Whispers. So, last question, because we're at 1 hour. The Whisper story arc. Will it carry over to season 11? Is there enough storyline, enough evil, enough back and forth that this thing lasts for an entire season? I think it will, and I'm going to tell you why I think it will. I think with an element of realism that The Walking Dead has as opposed to other shows, I don't think they kill them all. I don't think they have enough people and enough resources. I think there's going to be Whispers always out there. If there's a brand new community, and one of the things with the new show that they're talking about is how there's always these other civilizations, I don't think the Whispers become extinct. I think they lose some. I think they lose a lot. But I just got a feeling that they're going to split up and that they're always going to be watching. So, could be another rise of the Whispers later on. For me, I just think at this point in the show, and the series, and the universe, that there needs to be more than one evil. That we go from A to B to C to D. And I think it'd be good to see a little bit of everything just kind of stick around and manifest, where you're always a long-term element of paranoia and trauma probably wouldn't be bad for the show to keep us on edge. See, Grimes, they certainly could transition to the Commonwealth, but why not have some of the Whispers still floating around out there in case you ever need to bring them back? David says, do I think that there's a possible chance Negan may become a Whisperer? No, I don't. But, hey, could Negan become somebody in Commonwealth? Would he be worth keeping around for that story arc? And how do we know that the Commonwealth is definitely next? I mean, the show could have something else up its sleeve and not just follow script by script by script. Maybe they got some other ideas that are out there. All right, everybody. Hey, we're an hour and 4 minutes. I want to thank all of you guys for being here. A very uplifting, spirited debate tonight. We will be back tomorrow night. We're going to be streaming all week long. So I want to get a chance to get some Kills coins out there, because you guys know, collect your Kills coins, because Friday night we'll be having something very unique to our channel, which is Freestyle Friday. We have a lot of fun with those streams. We mix up the topics. We talk about The Walking Dead, and we just jump around to a whole lot of different things. As Chris Reinig would say, would fire up the karaoke machine. So we got that going for everybody on a Friday night. But we got a lot more in store the rest of this week. So we will be bringing random things back in a couple weeks. I know a lot of people have been messaging me like, we do random things for about 4 episodes, 4 weeks, then we take a few weeks off, and then we ramp it back up. Because there's just a lot of content to prepare for that. So I want to thank each and every one of you. You guys are absolutely amazing. Can I give some shout-outs? I want to give a shout-out to the Patreon Army. Thank you for everything that you guys do. If you're interested in becoming a Patreon, check the link down below. Also to the channel members. We got 3 new channel members today. We're up to 74. 1 more channel member. We're going to hit 75. That elusive next emoji. It'll be our 13th emoji that we're going to unlock. I feel like we're going to get there pretty soon. Thank you for everything that you guys do. Everybody on the green team, you guys can do me a favor. How about our 2 super fans of the month? We got Valar and also Lisa Khaleesi. Another, 9 days of them becoming super fans, and then we switch it over to someone else. So stay tuned. We're making an announcement who our next super fan is next month. They'll get a custom emoji. All the super chatters here tonight, thanks for everything that you guys do. And the biggest shout out that I want to do, the second biggest is going to be the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kales, but the biggest shout out is for each and every one of you. I want to thank you guys for showing up every night. Good, bad, passionate, heated debate, big family here. If you guys like to be a part of something special, subscribe, hang out with us, join our streams. We just have a good time, and we've been doing this for a long time. So thanks to everybody. I will talk to you all tomorrow night at 9:30. Have a good evening. Peace.